Well, we talked about we need the sad theme song for the sad games. We need kind of a like an intermediate. We need a neutral theme song for games like this.
Yeah. That was
welcome back. Yeah, welcome back, Hawks off Melrose. What is this week?
Week
13?
14.
Wait, this is week 14. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm Drew.
I'm Jeremy.
Should we just get right into that performance?
Yeah,
if you can call it
I
that.
mean, it's kind of what we talked about. Like, I feel like we were a little bit too confident, but I feel like that was more we just wanted to, you know, we as you kind of said,
we
like,
should have
we
been
want
too
to kind of
confident.
we kind of just want to get to Nebraska.
Yeah,
But we also were like, this could easily be a trap game, and that's
game.
exactly what it was.
and God, I hope that the team had the same mentality of let's just get to Nebraska, and it didn't work out for them.
Yeah,
If we
I mean,
play
the
a game
offense,
like that against
100%.
Nebraska, even without Raiola, if we play like that against Nebraska, I don't think it's going to be pretty.
No, not at all.
If you watched last week's episode, you saw I was in Miami when that game happened. So my watching of the game was a little bit sporadic. We did like a boat thing with the company, and we got back to the hotel at like 2:30, and it's a 3:30 game there because it's East Coast. And so we just our flights were all like 7. So there was one guy who was staying till the next day. So we all just went up and we watched the first quarter in his room, and it was very funny because I was in a room with one man from Switzerland, 2 Canadians, and then a woman from LA, and then my friend Colin, who I went to Iowa with, and we were sitting in that hotel room with it like glued to the TV, and everybody else in there was like, does not know what was going on whatsoever. Yeah, one of them knows football, but he's more of an NFL guy. He doesn't really watch college at all. So we were like explaining to him.
That
he
makes
was
sense.
Yeah, he was like, because he's from Canada, went to a very small university, and he was like, so did you like know these guys? Like, do you know George Kittle? And I was like, no, it's a big school.
I mean, like I've seen like, you know, a few guys like mostly basketball players. Like, I saw Luka Garza quite a few times.
Yeah, basketball players I feel like you saw around more. I was like, I knew 2 guys on the team. None of them ever had a shot at the NFL.
Yeah, I don't think I knew a single person.
Yeah. So we watched the first quarter in a hotel room. We were in an Uber for the second quarter, and then the second half we watched from a bar in the Miami airport on a phone because apparently in the Miami airport they can't change the TV channel. So,
not surprised. Yeah, and for once I wasn't working, so I saw every minute of that first half, and why did my schedule have to be this way where I actually get to watch a game and it's this game?
God, I mean, I don't even know what to say about it. It was bad. We picked up right where we left off in the second half of USC, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like we picked off after like week 2 or week 1, like with the offense, like they just were like Gronowski was missing throws, like the offense was completely stagnant. Like,
yeah,
it was.
He looked
almost baffling.
not great.
Like, no, he looked like he did in those first few weeks.
And I don't know if it was just like that USC second half got to him. I don't know if it was another instance of like, this is a bad team, we're gonna get really conservative with the play calling. One thing I feel like I've noticed about Gronowski in the past few weeks is he honestly does better when they are like, just go out there and win it. You know, like just go sling it. As opposed to like when they're trying to run a very set offense with him. I feel like he's better improvising than he is running plays, which isn't necessarily a good thing for a quarterback, but you also have to play to your quarterback's strengths.
I don't know. Yeah, again, I don't know if it was the play calling or confidence or just like, maybe they just felt beat up after the last 2. You know, Oregon USC should have won at least one of those games and didn't. Like,
exactly.
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, honestly, it probably was like, you know, usually like, you know, Kirk Ferentz's teams aren't really like that, but every team is going to have a little bit of the mentality like, all right, we just, you know, 2 really hard games, and now we have a, you know, on paper, 0 wins in the Big Ten. Awful year for Michigan State. We're going to go in there and just, you know, they probably just weren't that prepared, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And you're right in here, worst offensive half of the season, which is just funny because we were just saying that last week about the second half of USC. So they strung together 4 of the worst quarters back to back. Just luckily it was not in the same game.
Yeah, no, I mean, first half, 89 total yards. and I don't even remember what Gronowski had. I think he completed his first pass with like a few minutes left in the second quarter. And the first half went
that was
4
his
punts.
first pass of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 punts, 1 interception, and 1 missed field goal. Like that was just like the first half. Like it was so bad. Oh no, that's later on, but
it was
first three
Gronowski
quarters
stat for later on.
First 3 quarters, he had 30 passing yards.
30 passing yards in the first
so
3
bad.
quarters combined, for reference. And then like it was just nobody, and it wasn't like one person's fault either. Like there were drops, there were bad throws, the running game couldn't do anything, the line couldn't do a lot. Even the defense wasn't doing great. I mean, they let up. What was they scored I mean, we were down going into halftime, weren't we? So we were up 7-3 at halftime. At the end of the third quarter, we were down, obviously. Yeah, 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. And, I mean, there's not a lot to say. There's not a lot to say because they sucked. But they sucked.
It was so bad.
But you're hoping that, like, we know the team doesn't suck the way that they sucked in this game. So you're hoping that it was just a looking forward to Nebraska sort of situation and not like indicative of a greater issue.
Yeah, definitely. For all the things that were bad in that first half, there was like the one, bright spot, which was Caden Weechen once again.
Yes. And a hell of a bright spot.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was like, I feel like I actually wasn't that, mad going into half. And with that performance, you'd think like, one, we should be down 3-0, which would like, I think if we were down 3-0, which we should have been, like it would have felt
been way
so
more mad.
much worse.
I mean, he kept us in the game, which made it a lot more like knowing that how bad of a team Michigan State is, the fact that he kept us in the game, I was never lost all hope, Whereas if he didn't get that touchdown, I might have.
I've always felt like we would figure it out eventually and then just do what Iowa does and win, which is exactly what they did. But that Weechen obviously touchdown return just made it, I wasn't that like, I was not impressed. I wasn't happy per se, but I wasn't like, this is awful, which it was.
I was impressed with the return. I was not impressed with the overall performance.
Yeah, I went to halftime. I was like, okay, we have the lead. We'll figure it out. It wasn't like this is awful. Everything sucks. Like
Agreed. And he almost ran 2 back. That first one he almost broke too.
Yeah, I think literally the kicker like stopped him at the very end.
Yeah,
which I don't know why are they like that's like if it's so funny to look at because like Michigan State could look at the fact that they could have been up 3-0 at the half if they just didn't kick to them.
I agree.
Like, Iowa
I don't know why they kept doing
offense. Iowa had no offense. Why would they keep kicking to him?
Yeah, there was no reason.
It blows my mind that they were doing that.
There was no reason to kick to him the first time. After that first return when he almost broke it, there's no reason to kick to him again. The second return, obviously, he scored a touchdown, and they did start doing that like little QB punt, which was honestly I thought very smart. Where they just roll out there like a 4th down offense and the quarterback just kind of booted it, which obviously you can't do if you're backed up to your own end zone. That's not going to work. But like from like the 50, I thought that worked very well for them because obviously you can't put a returner back there. Otherwise, you put a returner back there, then they're just going to run a play. They're going to throw a pass and you're just going to be screwed. I was kind of like when I saw him line up for it at like towards the end of the game, it was like 4th and 3 and I knew they were going to do it again. I was like, just put Wampa back deep because like if he could get the ball, like he could return like it, but you don't want to get burned either.
Yeah.
Well, on the punt return, so Weechen broke Tim Dwight's record. So they were tied with 5 touchdown returns, and Weechen broke it with 6. I'll put the link to the video in the link dump. There was there's that debate now. Like, is he a better returner?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see much. Didn't see.
Didn't see a lot of Tim Dwight.
Yeah. But I mean, I've read a lot on Twitter where people are like, you have your old heads that are gonna always go with whoever's like honestly the older player. But I think I've also saw a lot saying like, oh, like I actually think that Weechen's is better at specifically like returning.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think Dwight is the better player, but Weechen's might be the better returner. Yeah. Yeah,
and I think it's also like, obviously you're going to give props to both players, and it's more just fun for us to go, oh, who's better than who, because they're two amazing players. it's just like you look at Weejan and he's a zero. I think he's like a 0-star, like no star walk on, and he turns it into his. Like,
I mean, he
Iowa
played
history.
at like where did he come from? Was it like a community college or a JUCO that he played at?
I don't even know. No, I don't think he was on. Was he on scholarship last year?
I believe he was. Yeah, he transferred from Iowa Western Community College as a walk-on in 2022.
That's crazy. I actually don't.
I mean, he literally was a community college.
Yeah, he was placed on scholarship for the 2025 season. So he won the Jet Award without a scholarship. That's how just like his story is amazing.
That is crazy. And obviously was announced as a finalist for the Jet Award this year as well.
I could be wrong with this, but I think I saw that if he won, which he should, right now statistically he easily should.
Statistically right now there's no way he loses. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think if he won, he'd be the first player to win twice. I'm pretty sure I saw that. That'd be crazy. Maybe it's just Iowa history, but I thought I saw it. Well, I guess I don't know how long the Jet Award's been around for.
Yeah, my favorite stat though was he averaged 49 yards a return this week, which is insane.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Imagine still punting it to a guy when he's averaging 49 yards per return. Like just ridiculous.
You were just saying like they punted to him once. He almost returns for a touchdown. They know his history. They're like, you know what? Let's do it again. He returned at 62 yards for a touchdown for their Iowa's only offense. And they're like, you know what? Let's do it again.
I mean, Caden Weejan, MVP of the game for sure. Obviously kept us in the game in the first half and then set us up to win the game in the fourth quarter with that third return. I mean, we've kind of, I think, sufficiently covered how shit the first three quarters were. Not that there's a lot to say about it besides they were.
I know
shit.
we were talking about the first half, but I think the third quarter might have been worse than
the third quarter was the worst by far. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we out of the, pretty much our first possession out of the half fumbles it. And then right away, Michigan State turns around and throws like a 45-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
And then
they looked like a competent football team in the third quarter. Like they looked like a good team against us, which is they're not. Like they don't have a Power 5 win this year or Power 4, whatever it is now. They are a bad team who looked decent against us in the third quarter. Like it was awful.
Yeah, I mean, touchdown after we fumbled, we punted, 3 and out again, and then they go 11 plays, 80 yards for another touchdown. So at that point, we're going in the fourth quarter like
down 10.
We're just hoping that Iowa does Iowa, and
well, I mean, I'd be shell shocked. Yeah, lo and behold. And this, I wasn't super nervous going into the fourth quarter. I was like, this
wasn't either.
Sucks. This comes back to what I said a few weeks ago during, I think I said it after the Oregon game, where I was like, just the Mark Gronowski is a winner mindset. I just wasn't nervous. There was a lot on Twitter that was like, put Hecklinski in, like Gronowski, don't put him out there, and I was like, honestly, no way. Like, he plays his best football in these situations when you need him to step up, and in the fourth quarter, I think if you look at the stats, I bet his fourth quarter stats blow away the stats for every other. It's got to be
100%
night and day.
Yeah, like when he needs to, like we've talked about it all year, when he needs to complete a pass, when he needs to make a play, he does every time.
Yes, he's almost better under pressure than he is
like
just rolling out there.
Is Iowa State the only game where we had a chance to go down in the fourth quarter and take the lead or tie, and I think Iowa State's
Indiana,
the only game.
But Gronowski was hurt for that.
Well, he wasn't in the game for that. But I think Gronowski out there, he has every single time besides Iowa State, where I think he got sacked twice.
Gotten the tie or the lead. Yeah, we've also talked about a lot this year where like we feel like the receivers are letting Gronowski down, and in this fourth quarter, they did not let him down. They stepped up as well, and they made some phenomenal catches.
Yeah.
There was the first one was, who caught that first one to set up the field goal? Was that 10-17. So that first field goal, there was a 17-yard pass to Vanderzee. That was the one I was
that was the first like big positive play that we had.
And then the 33-yard pass to Phillips was what set up the field goal. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much almost back to back. I think it was one play in between. So I was
Yeah.
kind of like, after that, I was like gaining a little confidence, like, okay, we're finding the guys, go and do your
Yeah.
thing. Like it was literally like kind of what we were saying with Gronowski. Like, okay, he kind of was like, shit, like, I guess I got to go win this game. Like he
Yeah.
kind of woke up and was like, okay.
Honestly, that was the part where I got the most nervous. As we got inside the 10, we didn't come away with the touchdown. And I was like, okay, now I'm a little nervous. We brought it back to a 1-score game, but that's not a great sign. I don't like stalling out like that. And then obviously our next drive, 3 plays, -4 yards. Not great.
Yeah, that kicked back a little bit. I was like, okay. Not great.
So then obviously punt, then Michigan State punts. Defense really, honestly, that was the biggest thing. The defense stepped up in the fourth quarter. The Michigan State, do they have 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out? And then in that last drive, they ran 4 plays, so they got 1 first down.
They had a 12-yard pass.
Yeah, the 12-yard pass on first down, and then they went 3 and out immediately after that. Yeah.
Then we get the ball back with like 3:40 less, and then we go pretty much 4 and out, turn it over on downs, and I literally was like, all right, game's over.
That was the part where you were like, okay, might not have a shot at this one anymore, and I felt okay because our defense was playing better. At 4 minutes, you're going to get the ball back at least once. And at that point, I was like, you can just play to tie it. Or the other thing, you could go for 2 there. I think we were sitting in the airport at that point, and like it was like Colin and I, and then like the guy next to us, and we were talking about like if we scored, he's like, is Iowa the kind of team to go for 2 there? And I was like, absolutely not. And I was like,
yeah, no.
But we're also 0 for 4 in the season, so like you got to go 1 for 5, right? Like statistics, if you go for that, like you're gonna get it, right?
Oh, definitely.
And then obviously defense stepped up, get the ball back with a minute to go, and I was like, okay, you can play for the tie here. Like you can go to overtime. And I also felt like overtime favors Iowa. When you start in the red zone, I feel like Iowa just has the advantage in overtime. So that was what I was like, that's all you need to do is you got to play for overtime. There's no reason to go for 2. Just play for the overtime. And then obviously the whole team stepped up on that drive. 16-yard run by Gronowski. The 12-yard run by Moulton, which we didn't really mention. I guess the other lone bright spot of the first 3 quarters, not that it was that much of a bright spot, was Moulton did look good for a while. He started getting stopped there more in the third quarter, but to start off the game, like that first drive, I think he had like 3 carries for like 30 or 40 yards or something.
Yeah, I mean, for most of the game, the only, if any, offense we had was the run game. So
and then obviously that touchdown pass to Gill in the end zone was just
what a catch.
Phenomenal catch.
What a throw, what a catch.
Yeah, I think we said last week about the catch. I think also Gill, that's the best catch I've seen an Iowa receiver make since like 2015. This topped it. Phenomenal catch. I mean, it was a great throw, but just the concentration to make that catch with him right there in your face is just unbelievable.
We're not used to wide receivers making a catch like that. Like, I feel like other teams, like that happens, like, a few times a season, maybe a few times, once every other game, I mean, Michigan State's player literally did it earlier in the game. Mm-hmm. And you just don't see that from Iowa wide receivers. So that's why it was almost like the next level of like, oh my God, how did you just do that?
I saw that ball go up and I was just like, no way. Like there's no, that's an incomplete pass. Like that's like the classic, you see an Iowa quarterback make that throw and that's going 3 yards up and to the left of him out of bounds, safe throw, run the next play. And I saw that go 100%. In and I was like, oh fuck, like that's low. And then it just, God, the hands to grab that was just impressive.
And then I was like, oh, we have all the momentum.
Yeah, we did. We absolutely did. And then obviously in that last drive, the catch honestly though might have been topped by that Vanderzee catch, which we can get to more in a second here. I don't know. Remember like last week when I said every time God remembers the Hawkeyes exist, he flips a coin? I guess it just landed Hawkeye's side up this time because even despite all of that, I mean, getting the ball back, getting the touchdown, and then obviously, getting the ball back that last time. And then, that last drive, 5 plays, starting off with the 19-yard pass to Vaname. And then obviously that 29-yard pass to Vanderzee, which was just a beautiful catch.
Perfect.
I'll put this in the link down. Somebody had like a photo burst of it of just like the 4 stages of that catch where it came. Also great placement by Gronowski on that one, like right over the defender's shoulder. And it was like Vanderzee like kind of catches it over the top of him for a second, bobbles it, grabs it again, goes down. Like it was so close. And that's just like the kind of catch that a receiver that like one of our receivers wouldn't make 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like that's just not something that they like. That's just not a cat ball that they come up with.
I saw a tweet and someone was like, it's so like ironic how Iowa like loses on this exact play to Oregon. And then
to Oregon. I thout the same thing. Like it looked very similar.
Very similar.
Drew Stevens nails the walk-off on senior day. Great moment. Which there's also put in the link down. That was I believe his fourth. I think he had 4 walk-offs in his career or something. He had Northwestern. He had Nebraska, and this one.
Nebraska
the Nebraska
3.
Yeah, that was the other guy.
Backup.
Yeah,
because
so maybe
I think
3.
Stevens was hurt.
Nebraska, Northwestern, and this one, at least. Maybe
I feel like there was more, but
yeah.
Regardless, I mean, honestly, like I've been kind of on Stevens this year just because he's been a little inconsistent. But like honestly, when he set up for that, I was like, he's nailing this. Like,
yeah, it was just like honestly. It was the same as the Northwestern game a few years ago where I was like, he missed the one earlier. He's drilling this one.
Yeah. Like 4-game winner. Like, I don't think he's missed one. So I was like, he's hitting this.
Yeah. I'm going to miss Stevens. That's going to be, that's a big thing. I remember the year that Stevens freshman year, I remember going into that was coming off of, oh God, who was the kicker before Stevens? Also very good. Keith Duncan. It was like coming off of Keith Duncan, phenomenal kicker. He graduates and you're like, you had a reliable kicker the year before, and that's not something you have coming into this year. And that's a big difference in a football team. And there was a lot of questions. I think that his first year, there was him and another kicker. I don't remember who it was, but they were kind of splitting snaps because they were like, we don't know who's going to stand out.
I kind of remember
and
that.
They ended up giving it to the other guy to start with because they were like, I guess he just was making better kicks in practice. And then it was just kind of like Stevens was making the kicks in the games, though. And then obviously takes over. He's had 4 great years here. I mean, ups and downs as any kicker has. But then we're now kind of going into that same situation next year where it's like you have a kicker this year who can reliably hit a 50-yard field goal. And that is such a luxury in college football.
Yeah.
And like it's going to suck not having that next year.
All I want is obviously I want to, destroy Nebraska, but if it comes down to like a 58, 60-yarder for the win,
it'd be great if he set a personal record.
That's what I'm saying. I just want to see him just smack a 60-yarder because we know he can.
Yeah, yes. And I would love to see him get redemption. I want to see him hit a 66-yarder. I want the Penn State redemption.
Was that 66?
It was 66. That one they got blocked.
God. Yeah. I almost wish they obviously I wish they didn't block it for a touchdown, but I also want to see do you think he would have made it? Because he missed the practice.
I think he would have. That first one was short, and I think like we talked about this after that game. The fact that first one was short was also the reason I think that the second one got blocked. But like you could tell he missed that one dropped short, and he kind of nodded to himself, and I was like, oh, he might drill this next one. If he gets a shot at this one, he might drill this. I would love to see him get a second shot at that long of a field goal. And I really hope he has a good NFL career. I'm almost positive he'll get drafted. You're going to have to fix his accuracy a little bit, but a leg like that, you can't coach that.
Yeah, he'll get a chance. He'll 100% get a chance with that leg. Yeah, he'll get a chance, especially in nowadays. Bears, the Bears have one of the more accurate kickers in the league, I'm pretty sure, and people hate on him because he can't hit over 55 yards, and even 55, he's not very accurate.
I also Iowa tweeted out a graphic of just all the seniors who are graduating this year, and you could potentially retain 1 or 2 of these on a grad transfer or something like that, or it's not a grad transfer obviously because it wouldn't be transferring, but something along those lines. But there's a lot that we're losing. Just the biggest ones, obviously Seth Anderson, Dunker, Entringer, Gill, Graves, Gronowski, TJ Hall, Herkett, Logan Jones, Hayden Large, Weechin, Drew Stevens, Bo Stevens, Sam Phillips, Wampa, Max Llewellyn,
our whole offensive line.
Some big names. Yeah, a lot of the line. And obviously no Gronowski next year. this graphic was kind of like a smack in the face. Like, oh yeah, next
Don't
year's
want to think
rebuilding
about it.
again. Yeah, and
Don't wanna
you
think
hope they hit
about
the
it.
portal and maybe bring in a couple of good people and we are competitive next year. But like, there's a lot of big names on this list. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot more on this game. It was, like we said, it was shit, and then it wasn't.
Yeah, it was shit, and then it was extremely exciting there, and then you kind of
It was
realize,
very
well,
exciting.
yeah, and then you kind of realize afterward, you're like, well, it shouldn't have come down to that, but it was
It
still
shouldn't
fun.
have, but
It was still fun at
Yeah.
the end.
it's kind of what we talked about after some of those bigger games where it's like Iowa, like the teams they're supposed to beat, they find a way to beat, and the teams that they're not supposed to beat, they can't find a way to beat. Obviously, you wish that they make a couple of different plays and things go a little bit differently, and you're sitting up at the top. But I mean, you can't be upset with how this season goes. Well, actually, let me hold my tongue on that one until we see the Nebraska game.
Yeah, that's true. Which we'll get to in a sec.
Yeah.
First,
but before we do that, if we want to talk about basketball a little bit, because we finally had some real games.
I mean, women's basketball, big game against number 7 Baylor, first real test of the season, and they come out on top. Did you watch any of the game?
I did not. What day was this game? I was getting the updates on Twitter, but I was in the middle of something. Oh, I was on an airplane. That's right. I was on an airplane when this game was taking place.
But yeah, another game where Ava Hayden played really well. She led the team with 18 points, 11 rebounds. They won 57-52. I think the big thing for Iowa right now, for Iowa women's that is that their starting point guard, Chichat Wright, was injured in the game and couldn't play. And I think that was also huge that someone like Taylor Stremlow, yeah, she came in, played great. And you're kind of seeing some of these younger players coming in and playing, decent minutes. I mean, some of the younger, freshmen and sophomores only played a few minutes, but still some minutes against a top 10 team, which you like to see.
Yeah, and then she also was not able to play the Miami game, which Miami, not a ranked team, obviously, but they were undefeated prior to playing Iowa.
Yeah. So 2 good wins. And like, I remember I was seeing like some people saying like, oh, like they'd have been happy, like getting 1 win over that weekend, they were able to win both. I mean, I feel like we're underselling, like they beat the number 7 team in the nation. Like that's,
they did. Yeah.
Like, I feel like
that's a big
I feel like people
That's
aren't talking
win.
about that. Yeah. Like I don't think the rankings have come out yet. Oh no, wait, Iowa is number 11.
Yeah. We're up to 11. Yeah.
I didn't even see that. Yeah. Which it's really good to see, not to get, too much into it. Cause it's just, few games, but it's really nice to see that they're able to, get these top 10 wins against these opponents post Caitlin Clark era.
And then the men, obviously, just today, we're recording this on Tuesday. Their first real game against an Ole Miss team who we'll see how good they end up being, but undefeated up to this point. Close game, but they were kind of always in control. Like, it was just kind of like Iowa was always ahead. Ole Miss would kind of pull it back together. I would take off again. I will say the one thing that I took away from this game negatively is this is one of the biggest concerns people had with this team is that like the same thing that happened with like Drake last year, where it's like they were a defensive team going up against teams that were talking about Drake, they were going up against teams that were better than them. But if they could keep the game to their pace and play really good defense, they could pull out the win. And that's not going to work in a week in, week out Big Ten schedule, obviously. And there was a lot of talk about if Iowa was going to have to play that same style of basketball or if they were going to be able to be a little bit more offensive. And they've had pretty good offense against the not great teams that they've played. This is the first real test that they've had. And like they did pull out the win, but they almost pulled out the win in that same play good defense, low scoring game, keep it at their pace. And it was kind of like, the scary part was it felt like if Ole Miss got hot at any point, they were going to pull away and we weren't going to be able to catch back up because we couldn't like score on command, like that was, we talked about this a little bit before we started, but like not great from 3, 8 for 22 on the team. And 6 of those were Bennett Sturtz, who was obviously a huge bright spot for him. It was actually his career high, I think.
Yeah. It was his Division I career high. Which is crazy. Which is also crazy to say, like they kept saying like, oh, it was his Division career high because he also played Division II, which is,
Yeah.
he was All-American last year and, on the, All-American watch this year, and he played in Division II. I mean, that's a whole other story.
Insane. Was recruited in Division II. Played 40 minutes, completely led the team. Like, ran away with it. Just the best player out there by far.
Again, kind of going off what you were just talking about, there's really little amount of secondary scoring for Iowa.
Cooper Koch, next best player out there was Cooper Koch by far.
Yeah, like he had probably his best game of the year.
He had his best game as a Hawkeye, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a few games this year where like he's honestly not like he's hit like a few threes in the game against really bad opponents that like you'd expect him to do more. And this is what you like to see. He had a double. So
5 for
10
7
rebounds.
From the field. 10 rebounds is crazy.
Yeah. I think it was a wake-up call for some of these guys that have been playing, a little bit, weaker opponents over the years. Because, I mean, Ole Miss had 7 blocks, and maybe that's a thing that Ole Miss just is good at. But, I mean, they were getting blocked by, like, point guards. Like, they were just going up like they've never been blocked before. Like, Fulgaris had a few, and I think...
He had a bad block towards the end there, yeah.
Like, I mean, Fulgaris they all played really good defense. That's what they're, going to be good with. But like some of these, it's like, you don't have to go in for that dunk. Like a few of them was like, all right, just if you quickly laid it up, it would have been in, but they tried for the dunk and they got blocked. Like, and I think it's just kind of stuff like that, that I do think they'll probably lose a few games because of it. But I think towards, you getting into the thick of things, it'll be good for them.
That was the biggest thing that stood out to me, where it's like, if nobody can make a 3, that's not going to translate well to a Big Ten schedule. Like sometimes you just need to be able to step up and make those. Like the Big Ten is good defensive basketball. So if they're locked down the lane, you need to be able to hit it from the perimeter to win games. Like it's just, we're going to have to find a little bit more of that 3 ball to be able to win like that. That was the nice thing about playing at Drake is they could kind of play bully ball and just control the lane and get 2 points every possession and walk out of a game like that. But when you're going up against like Michigan, you're not going to be able to just go in and get 2 points every possession. Like sometimes you're going to have to kick it out to a perimeter. Like it's just.
Did you see Michigan's game today?
I didn't.
I forget who they played. No, they played Auburn. They beat them by like 40.
Jesus.
They hung like 110 on them or something.
That's ridiculous. I know they're supposed to be good this year, but 102-72, that's insane. Okay, well, as we approach the final week of the year, a couple of mix-ups in the polls. Oregon beats USC, which badly, kind of, 42-27. There was a moment in the third quarter where USC brought it to within 1 touchdown, and it was like, maybe, and then no.
I was kind of surprised by that. I watched a little bit of the game, but I was like, I don't know, maybe just because it's obviously like we know Iowa and we know who plays, who's going to play Iowa a little bit better. I was more nervous about USC than I was Oregon. And I think that's more just the setups of the teams and stuff. But it honestly makes me feel a little bit better about like, damn, like we really could have beat Oregon, and Oregon is seemingly proving that they are like a top 10 team. Because some people were like, oh, are they? They haven't really played anybody. The one good team they played, they lost like to Indiana.
And now they have 2 good wins between us and USC.
One that I do not understand though is Georgia Tech. And I think I said this a few weeks ago. They've played nobody. They played nobody all year, and then they lose by like 20 to. I'm
shocked they only dropped 23. Yeah.
Yeah, they lost to now a decent amount, but they lost to NC State, 48-36. And then they beat Boston College, who's awful, by 2. And then they get killed by Pitt, and they drop like 4 fucking spots.
Yeah,
I don't get
Pitt
it.
Only 1 ahead of them, and I know that like spots, there's probably a playoff team between the 2 of them, just because it's going to come down to the conference champion. So like that's maybe part of how the rankings work there.
Yeah, I guess I just said that the part of the rankings is how close you are to a playoff, no matter,
Yeah.
So I do understand, like, because they're in the conference they're in, like that makes sense. But I'm just like, dude,
I'm not too pressed about the rankings at this point. Like we had our shot, we didn't pull it off. At this point, I just want to get a good bowl and I want to win.
Yeah.
I want to win a good bowl. I want to send the Gronowski off with a positive.
Oh,
season.
definitely.
Um,
Kind of I will say that kind of another Big Ten one that I forgot about is
Are you talking
Illinois
about
lost to Wisconsin.
Yeah. I was
Dude,
just going to
Wisconsin's
bring
on a
that
heater.
up. Yeah. Illinois not only lost to Wisconsin, kind of got their ass kicked by Wisconsin, 27-10. Maybe Luke Fickell's back. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, they were like, "Yeah, you still have a job next year." He's like, "Oh, I'll continue to. I'll actually start coaching now." Like,
I made a joke where they said they were going to put more money into the football program, and he just heard like bonus.
yeah.
And then also Penn State, who has been having a time of it, kind of demolished Nebraska 37-10. I also put in here that link, the Penn State helmet thing, absolutely lowers his head into one of the defenders, and his helmet like shattered. You can see the pieces go flying when he hits. It's kind of crazy.
Oh my god. Like
it looks like it hurts. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, they just kind of dropped the hammer on Nebraska, which, as we've talked about, at the end of the day, there's a bunch of good players on that team, and obviously Nebraska playing without Raiola. So,
do we want to just get into the preview?
yeah, we might as well.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing we had is the depth chart, and the only notable thing is no Hayden Large or TJ Hall listed. And I think
which we knew Large was probably going to be out, but Hall.
The big thing is TJ. Yeah, the thing is that the TJ Hall might hurt us.
That might
I know
be
we've been. I don't know how good. So this guy, TJ Latif, I don't know. He's the starter for Raiola. He has 0 interceptions this year. I don't know how, if he's just not slinging it. His 2 starts really versus UCLA, he had a really good game, 13 for 15, threw 205 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. UCLA is not very good, so I don't know what you can take out of that. But last week versus Penn State, 21 for 37, 187 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
The nice thing is, however, just like with TJ Hall out, they have played a little bit of that with moving the corners around already. So it's not like it's going to be a completely new guy in there. So they've listed Lutmer in place of him, which is obviously, I'm very confident about that. Every time Lutmer's gone back at corner, he's looked good. So then instead of bringing in a backup corner, we're bringing in a backup safety.
Because Lutmer's right now listed as a starter for Cash and
he's been playing
left
Cash.
Side.
Yeah,
so
we have
Entringer
in at safety, Nwampa in at free safety, and then it'll probably it's been flipping between the Entringer and Lutmer. So like it's not like it's a brand new guy out there. Like it's still the same kind of defensive front we've had. They're just guys are getting shuffled around.
Yeah, it's pretty much like if one of those 4 guys gets injured, then
we're screwed.
A problem.
yeah. We've lost our safety net for sure. Yeah.
But surprisingly, Nebraska is 7-4, like we are, which is
they're already bowl eligible, so they're not
crazy.
playing for that at least.
Yeah. I think they're going to come out. They are home. Nebraska's home, so I do think they're going to come out. It's a rivalry game. I don't think really last week matters too much score wise. Like I think it does show, like I do think Iowa should beat them. Like they should beat them. But it's a rivalry game. I have on here. Iowa is favored by 6.5.
Which that line actually moved. It was 4.5 earlier in the week. It moved to 6.5 like 2 days ago or something.
Gotcha. I would have expected more of the 4.5, but I guess after they got killed by Penn State.
Yeah, it just like at Nebraska though makes me feel nervous about a 6.5 line.
Yeah, I mean, as I put here, so Iowa is 9-1 in the last 10. I don't know why we call this a rivalry. I mean, I'm just joking. But 9 wins in the last 10. But 7 of the last 7 games have been by 1 score. And the last 2 games have been game-winning field goals by Iowa. So I think it'll be a close one.
And then the one before that was the game-winning field goal by Nebraska, right?
Yeah.
and then we also had game-winning field goals in 2018 and 2019. So this game has come down to a walk-off field goal, maybe more than any series ever.
Yeah.
Like it seems to come down to one almost every year.
Yeah, that's why I'm like Stevens game winner 68-yarder.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Imagine he breaks the NFL field goal record on a college field.
I would love that. But yeah, what are any like initial thoughts for this game? I mean, last game of the year.
My initial thoughts were
Nebraska.
If Raiola was playing, I'd feel a lot worse about this. The fact that he's not, we just should win this. I feel like I've said this a lot this year. I said it a lot last week. This is a game you should win. It is a rivalry game. They're going to play a little harder than usual. Obviously, this backup quarterback's not bad. Like it's not like he sucks. He can't play football. Like he's a decent quarterback. It's not like they're just going to roll over and die.
They let him throw it 37 times against Penn State. Like no matter how well he did, they're confident that he can do something.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, like we said, no TJ Halls. Like our secondary is going to be, even if like nobody gets hurt, they're going to be a little more tired than usual. They're not going to there's no breaks on the secondary this week. I don't know. I think it'll be a close game just because even when one of the teams is like seems to be severely outmatched, it has been a close game. What's the weather for this game? They should delay this game one day because Friday is low of 25, high of 38. Saturday, low of 13, high of 36 with a heavy snowstorm. If we're one day off from a heavy snowstorm game,
that would be awesome.
Would be awesome.
And Iowa, I don't know what Iowa's like history is with snow games. I wonder if there's like a stat somewhere.
The last one I remember that was like a lot of snow was the Purdue game that I went to when I think we lost that game. Was it? No, it was 2015, so we wouldn't have lost. We couldn't have lost it, but I think it was a rough game. Let me look this up. Yeah, okay, we won 40-20. Never mind. Okay, that's good. But that was the game where they had to shovel the stadium overnight, and we were sitting in the north end zone before they redid the north end zone, and people were making snowballs and just pelting the cheerleaders with them, and they kept having to come over the intercom and telling people to stop. And at one point, Purdue scored a touchdown, and their cheerleaders, when they score touchdowns, they run down the end zone and they all do back handsprings. And somebody drilled a girl in the head while she was upside down mid back handspring. Just absolutely popped her. It was brutal.
That's not funny, but that's hilarious.
It was not funny, but it was funny.
Like I know it's going to be close. I know it's going to be a grueler because that's how they always are. Yeah, I think they can. Agreed. I think they should win. Like as we've said,
they should win.
Like yeah, like without Raiola. Like again, yeah, if they had Raiola, it'd be a different story. I'd be way more nervous. But you never know in a rivalry game like this. I mean, we have.
And I got money on this game because I got over 7.5 on the season.
Oh yeah,
it comes down to this.
All right, they're winning then. They're winning.
It'll be a good game. This always is a good game, and it's one of those games that just sucks. It is one of my favorite games when it's at Nebraska. It's my least favorite game when it's at home because then I have to like go to the game after Thanksgiving. But when it's at Nebraska, it's like a Thanksgiving dinner, go to sleep, wake up late, turn on the game, and then you just like eat the leftover turkey while you watch the game and don't do anything. It's awesome.
I was watching the Michigan State game with like one of my Iowa buddies and then some of our buddies that went to Minnesota. It was just funny because we were talking about like, like each other's rivalries and stuff. And we're like, and I was like, for me, Minnesota, even like Wisconsin and stuff, like I don't hate those. Like I don't hate their fans. Like, it's a rivalry and it's whatever. I like those games. Like whatever, but I don't hate their fans. Nebraska's the complete opposite story.
Yeah. It's because they're just such dicks obnoxious. On Twitter.
I saw something on Twitter today about like Nebraska didn't shake hands last year against Iowa, and then Iowa obviously won, and that was like a big thing. Like, oh, like they're being disrespectful. They didn't shake hands at the the captain's meeting, and then Jay Higgins went over and like dead-eyed fucking Campbell and shook his hand, and not Campbell, Rule, and all the Nebraska fans were like, how disrespectful was he?
Yeah. I saw a Nebraska fan tweet out like earlier this week, like the video of them refusing to shake hands in the huddle. And they were like, rivalry league, like we need this energy going into this week. And all their comments were just like, do you know how this game ended?
Yeah. Like it's literally just ignorance. Like,
yeah.
Dude, I'm so bad. I know we're just kind of going on a like rant at this point, but I'm so bad about like remembering like it's almost 1 a.m. Like I'm just kind of
we're just kind of talking.
Like
Yeah, well, here, while we're here, let me scroll through my tweets real
no,
quick, make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah,
there's a couple of
tomorrow.
senior day videos I'll throw in the link dump. There's Drew Stevens talking to his parents after the kick, Gronowski's entrance. Yeah, just some stuff like that. Oh, Kirk Ferentz, Michael Lass, who's a beat reporter for the Gazette in Cedar Rapids, they're going through ownership change, and he got laid off. Ferentz gave a little tribute to him in his press conference, which sucks because he's honestly one of the best Iowa reporters out there. He'll land on his feet somewhere for sure. But
yeah, I guess last thing I have. Did you see George Kittle's post game interview after Monday Night Football?
I did. Yeah, dude, he had that rant ready to go.
He called out what's that guy? Will Compton.
Yeah, I'll link this too.
That was funny.
It's very funny. Talking a lot about like what we talked about just a second ago.
Yeah, it's like you're talking shit after just getting your ass beat by Penn State. What you doing, Phoebe? Don't hit that over, please. I don't know what she's doing.
What's she standing on?
So there's a box there.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. They're usually used to me or Clodagh being like in bed asleep, and they like the warmth of us.
Yeah.
So she's probably like just like annoyed that.
It is late. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's 1:00. Yeah, I don't have anything going on tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Yeah, I tried to. We're just completely ranting at this point. I'll have to cut around all this, but I tried to get a beer for this one. Nothing was open. I guess in the state of Iowa, they don't. The liquor store is closed now. I guess I don't know. Maybe there's some new law I missed out on. Nothing was open. Couldn't get. Not even a gas station I could find that I could get a beer from.
Damn. Yeah, I bet you I could find. I mean, in Chicago you could find something.
In Chicago I could walk down the street and get one. Well, we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, kind of been ranting, but hey, that's what a good podcast does.
That's what we do. That's what we're here for. So this is Hawks Off Melrose. Check out the link dump, fishballsports.com/Hawks Off Melrose. I don't actually have last week's up there because I was in Miami. I'll get that up there too if you wanted to check out anything from last week's. It'll be up there by the time this is out. This will probably be out on Thursday, so happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Happy Black Friday tomorrow because games tomorrow. Tomorrow's game day. Yeah, check out all of our socials at Hawks Off Melrose pretty much everywhere. Yeah, I'm Drew.
I'm Jeremy.
And we will see you next week. Hopefully happy.
Yep. Okay. Peace.